Welcome to the Scottish Highlands, and we are in the Royal Borough of Dornoch. Behind us we have Dornoch Castle. Now, for you that have seen our teaser campaign so far, you'll see that this is the very first castle that we've got to sell, and we are in an absolutely breathtaking location. Now, the castle behind us has been currently used as a very nice hotel. And it's got 22 bedrooms, plenty of space, loads of future potential, with consent for a further 10 rooms if you wanted to expand on this further. But I can't deny the fact that this was a main residence up until 1947, and as such, making this back potentially into one usable main house could be a possibility. Now, we have golf courses around us. The coastline is stunning, and I'll put some pictures in the details so you can see that. But we have something very unique, and it's coming to the market now. So this is your chance to look through the rest of the video. There's a nice interview with the current owners, so you can get a bit of an understanding as to why they've enjoyed it for the last 22 years. And I hope that you like what you see. Okay, so we start just across from the castle. We've got this lovely green space area just over here. Rather lovely cathedral, beautiful. And this is the building in question. It is very statuesque, set over a few floors, and very well positioned. This is the town a little further, and there's lots of shops and boutique shops and other amenities which are really helpful. The hotel itself is on the NC 500, which, for those of you that don't know it, it is a rite of passage for every petrol head that likes to be able to drive around the fantastic Scottish countryside and really enjoy the breathtaking scenery. Just down here we've got beaches and really lovely golf courses. So let's head inside and I'll give you a proper look as to what we've got inside. Let's go inside and have a look. So this is the first set of stairs. It takes us to a different bedroom block, which we'll go and have a look at a room or two shortly. But as we enter into the bar, you can see this incredible following that they must have for the significant amount of whiskey that they've got here. Some of the lovely things that we can see, obviously this huge fireplace, but we've been told that this was actually the size of the fireplace, which you could almost fit a car inside it. So it's absolutely enormous, but a great feature for this room. We've got another little hidey hole in there, which is a bit of a proving oven. Sorry to get you in the video, but we've got a lovely bar, literally stocked with anything and everything you could imagine. Now, just through the back there, we've got a private dining room, which I'm going to show you in a moment. But let's have a proper look through here and go into the dining room. Take a look in this rather lovely dining room. So as we come into here, we've got around about 60 covers. This is a beautiful steel frame building, lovely garden space outside, and as you can see, full of sunshine, a really lovely outlook. So we've got a really generous sized commercial kitchen in there, and this dining space is absolutely fantastic. I mean, the current owners have said it's about 60 covers, but I do think with a restaurant of this size, it does have the potential to be able to potentially expand on that even further, because it is a rather wonderful space and overlooking that garden. It's absolutely idyllic. So what we'll do is, on this side we have a selection of rooms, and I'm just going to take you through this door and let's go and have a look at one. Now, this is one of the lovely sized double rooms on the opposite wing of the castle. We've got a lovely queen size bed, good study area, views out over towards the garden, and even comes with a lovely ensuite with a large shower cubicle. This is a fabulous room and a great place to stay for, as the owners have said, for a few days. So I just wandered through, obviously the garden's very lovely out there, wandered through just the back of this restaurant, and we're going to go through just through there, and then we'll show you the vaulted private dining room area, and then after that we'll take you through and show you all of the bedrooms. So now, the private dining room. This is breathtaking. So this is a whiskey tasting room and a private dining room, which is in a kind of vaulted area. You can see by the door, it's heavily reinforced, and that is a lock. And genuinely, this is probably the coolest thing in a house I have ever seen, and that is what you call a key. Now, I'm not quite so sure on how big your key ring would be to have to actually lug that around, but that is genuinely the biggest key I've ever seen, and it takes a full hand to be able to prop it up. But this room has just got a real bag load of character to it. You've got this lovely arching. You can seat up to 12 in here comfortably, and this is where they have private dining facilities and a whiskey tasting. Both of those things are high on my list of priorities, so I hope that I get to explore that. But yeah, what an absolutely stunning room. I mean, from here, I think I'm going to probably come back and maybe at a different point meet the vendor to be able to have a discussion with him about this wonderful room and about the wonderful castle that we're in. It's well worth having a chat with him at some point to kind of go over some of the nicest bits. But wow, what a great space. So we're back in the vault room again, and I'm really pleased to be able to introduce you to Colin Thompson, the owner of Dornoch Castle. It felt appropriate as we're here, and this is such an amazing building that it would be really a nice thing to be able to have a chat with the owner. So Colin, thank you for talking to us on camera.
Yeah.
So what prompted you in the first place to be able to buy Dornoch Castle?
Okay, long story. Back in June 2000, we bought it, and a friend of mine from the Lake District, late John Smith, who owned a couple of hotels there, phoned me up and said, "Oh, nice hotel for sale near you, do you want to go and see it?" And we lived about 30 miles away at the time, so I said, "Well, okay, let's go and see it." And we liked it, and John said, "If I buy it, will you run it?" I said, "No, if you buy it, I'll buy it with you." And that's how we came together. And then John backed out about 4 years later, and I got it along with my wife and my kids. So 22 years and rolling. Yeah,
it would pretty much be a dream of almost anyone to be able to own the castle. What's your favourite memory of having Dornoch Castle?
Okay, well, very soon after we arrived here, Madonna decided to get married at Skibo Castle, which is about 2 miles down the road, and at the same time christened her child in Dornoch Cathedral, 22nd of June 2000. We've been here 6 months, and whoa, all of a sudden we've gone from a little sleepy hotel to the press centre of the world. Wow. And it was absolutely and utterly bonkers for 3 weeks, but put us on the map, absolutely put us on the map. Great stories to come out of it, and it's something that will never happen again, but it gave us direction. We woke up to 300 wedding inquiries straight away afterwards, and allowed us to sort of put a plan together to expand the building, create restaurants and so on and so forth. So yeah, that was the telling moment. Yeah.
So the one thing that we mentioned before was that you're probably one of the #1 buyers of whiskey in Scotland, I believe, or maybe even broader than that. So tell us a little bit about that backstory.
Okay, so we're #1 whiskey buyer in the world, depending on the book you read. We've been #1 whiskey buyer in Scotland, 5 times out of the last 10 years. We're always lifted up. So Simon and Phil, my sons, came back from college, university, and the usual story, what you're going to do, we'll work at home for a little bit. And through that, they then stayed and developed the whiskey bar, and maybe an unhealthy interest in whiskey, but developed that.
Doesn't seem unhealthy at all to me.
No, it's a great hobby. And they started buying vintage whiskies that no one else was buying, and they were prepared to open them. And whiskey at the time had just started to become very, very collectible, David. And we were prepared to open these very rare bottles, and got a reputation from Japanese, from Germans, from Italians to open these bottles. And people were coming over and we've got to try this, got to try that. And that's how it started. And that then prompted them to develop their own distillery, which is a spin-off now, and they're going to expand that dramatically in the next couple of years. And they managed to do that extremely successfully, got a great reputation, so we're so proud to have them doing that.
Oh, that's fantastic. Well, thank you for spending the time to have a quick chat with us today.
Yeah.
I'm very much looking forward to trying this whiskey, so watch this space.
Well, maybe watch the space below as he tilts over.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay, so let's have a look in here. So this room is the old courtroom. As we come into here, we have the most opulent room. It is absolutely fantastic. So I'll show you this properly. I mean, even when you look, you've got these little parts that are built as window seats, which overlook the town. The fireplace just oozes history, and this is the part that's the real clincher. When we pan up, it is a absolutely enormously high ceiling, and all from that vantage point of this rather beautiful four-poster bed. So we've got a nice little study area. The window here overlooks onto the completely walled garden, and then lastly we have a fantastic ensuite which has a spa bath. This room is an absolute stunner, and it really makes me want to be able to stay in this room myself. I think I may come back for a visit. So it's now time to look in the terrace room. So this is a different style, and we've seen four-poster beds, we've seen slightly contemporary, and this is definitely a blend between it. Got these fantastic, very bright windows overlooking the garden, and there's some fells in the background. But it's a really lovely space with absolutely plenty of space, nice ensuite. If you were to come and stay here, I'm sure you would be absolutely delighted. What a wonderful area. So after this lovely terrace, which overlooks the garden, which is fabulous, I'm going to take you through to the sitting room, which is here for any of the guests to be able to use while they're staying. I mean, again, if this became a residential property, if you wanted to, then this would be a rather lovely sitting room. And as you can see, it's very opulent. Got large windows which overlook the lovely green square at the front. Okay, so one of my personal favourites, we've got Cathedral View. And as we come in, it's a very opulent space, which I absolutely love. And it even throws a little bit of history in for me as well. So we've got an original stone pillar, which we kind of think is probably going to be somewhere in the 1400s, but it's a really lovely space. The views out of the front are lovely. We've got a ensuite bathroom with a spa bath, and then we have a loo in the turret. And that is because the turret was used to be able to house a loo for every floor, making it effectively a toilet turret. So I think that's quite a fun story, and fits in this rather special bedroom. So we're now having a look at Nairn room, which is a absolutely lovely room. A very different style. We've got a bit of a contemporary vibe to this, and it's quite a spacious room. You've got a lovely ensuite bathroom, dual aspect views over the gardens, and even this rather lovely seating area. All in all, a very spacious and again a different vibe. This place just keeps on giving different looks and different styles. So this is an unconverted part of Dornoch Castle. Now it's basically a duplex that's got, you'll see in a moment, but it's got rather wonderful stairs. What we've got here is a turret. There's 3 of them. And when we're talking about views, look at that. Unbelievable. It's got these lovely little stone mouldings everywhere, which is rather fantastic. And as I squeeze back through, I'm not the most sprightly of people, managed to get through. There's another just in here, another just over there, and I have officially now gone into the turrets of this castle. So my next step is to go and look at what you would expect in any castle, a giant spiral staircase that leads all the way from top to bottom in the turret on the opposite side. That smartly brings us to here, but I'll keep looking down because I think this goes down for some distance. Now, upstairs we saw the room that was partially converted. So let's just think about this top floor as being owner's accommodation. If you were looking to run this as a hotel, which overlooks the town and has just across the hallway another large adjoining space, which at present has a bathroom and another bedroom, which could make this all into some very comfortable owner's accommodation. So for this tour, let's finish off in this garden space. This is the rear of the castle, and this is the conclusion to tour around this fantastic building. This property is coming to the market for £2.5 million. It is complete with all of the furniture and fittings, so it is a walk-in ready business to take on board. However, as I've said in my opener, if you were maybe looking at this as being a main residential property or something that you could split off to have a work-live environment, or maybe holiday cottages, there is so much future potential that you'll need to have a very good look at this to see whether or not it fits with what you like. This building is stunning, and it's been an absolute pleasure to be able to list our first castle in the Scottish Highlands, and I hope that you like it.